before the national anthems, being the first women's match following on from Remembrance Sunday. We will be observing a minute's silence and then national anthems and then kick-off here in York. They're now in the hands of referee Belinda Sharp.
We commemorate armistice and pay tribute to the Anzac contribution during World War I. We ask you to respect the moment of silence for those in the rugby league family and all others who have served or sacrificed for their country. This will start and end on the referee's whistle.
Yes, the respect between nations is immense, just as we've told you about Australia and New Zealand, the military history between Australia and PNG and the legend of Kokoda. Great respect. And now the national anthems of Australia and Papua New Guinea. And haven't we had some lovely moments with the young boys and girls lined up in front of the athletes, the teams ahead of kick-off. I tell you what, if this fog keeps moving in, we might have to. Well, I don't know what we do for England and New Zealand, but it's certainly moving in. The Australian lineup we confirm now. So Brown playing halfback tonight. Fume Ono at 5'8", and that means that Davis will be the starting hooker in this Australian side, and Sam Bremner coming off the bench. So Tonagato is there at fullback. Plenty of speed in that Australian backline. The Papua New Guinea side, well, they've shown us they're capable of scoring tries. Belinda Guasamon, as we know, the 4 tries against Brazil. Malawiwa on the wing has scored 4 tries in the tournament. So there's some capabilities there to score. But there has been one international between the sides recognised as a full international. That was a Prime Minister's 13 game in 2017. But this is the first time we've actually had Papua New Guinea against Australia. So as an absolute full international. So mark the occasion, it's a special one. Australia will be receiving the ball from kick-off, and one last huddle for the Orchids. And a shout out to everyone watching across Papua New Guinea. I know the radio station there, Now FM, and its various outlets, they're excited to spread the word of this team. The men's side made it as far as the quarterfinals. The women's playing in the semi-finals for the first time. And their inclusion certainly sums up the World Cup of togetherness. All right, let's do this first semi-final, Women's Rugby League World Cup. We already know the finalists in the wheelchair and in the men's. But over the next few hours, we will determine our combatants for Saturday at Old Trafford. Belinda Sharp is referee, and going the short kick-off that almost paid off. I'd call that the low wobbler. Andrea, that was the low wobbler off the kicking tee. I assume deliberate.
It looked deliberate, did it? But yeah, probably not. They don't want to turn the ball over 10 metres away from the halfway line, do they? A deep kick, put some pressure on, probably would have been the better option there, but why not mix it up? Well,
I think they probably should have got it back. Shelley Long, but the bounce was unconventional.
I think
don't mind that. Surprise tactic against Australia.
Ball in.
Oh, they did get it back.
They did.
Oh, I was wrong.
Fighting touch from the kickoff. So Papua New Guinea with the ball. 31 metres away from the Australian line. And wouldn't this be something if they put it together to start the match? Fire a little warning shot at the Australians, sort of shake out any complacency if it does exist.
Come on, Holly, quicker.
So how well and how long the PNG forwards can keep up the effort, I believe, is the key to how close the scores will be. Albert has overrun the ball. So an unforced error, and no chance to build up pressure there from the Orchids.
Yeah, and I think that is the key for Papua New Guinea tonight. A similar story against England. They got an early score there, and it was a real arm wrestle for the first 15-20 minutes, but they just seemed to run out of steam towards the end of that game and just struggled to keep the intensity up.
Clock off. Shot clock off. Ball in.
So Lauren Brown, again, if you haven't been watching much of the Australian team, it is a little hard to get accustomed to all the different numbers, and it's the same with the men's team. I suppose it won't matter if they both make the final. Kelly on that run back, they're short of halfway, and now almost lost. So Australia with their first use of the ball and looking a tad shaky with Brown there. Back in for Harden. They've got 3 of their most experienced players in the forward pack. Here was the juggle. But to have Brigginshaw, to have Wheeler and Harden all starting. potentially they could all be playing their last World Cup. Kick from Fuimeono and has gone out in the full. Well, I've got to be honest, they haven't struck conditions like this so far at the World Cup. This is very north of England, and it might take a little while to get used to.
Yeah, it's still not too cold. It's normally colder at this time of the year. I know we're all wrapped up, but yeah, it's not ideal condition for an expansive game and ball through hands. But if they can weather it for the first 5-10, I think they'll be all right. But yeah, it looks very, very wet and a bit slippy out there.
You need to keep away from those sidelines. A good charge from Cowper, so that's where they set the platform. Albert takes the first one, then Cowper, and now for Banu. So they're dialed in this set, Papua New Guinea. This is what we expected from them. Bit of power game. And now Shelley Long, 20 metres away from the Australian line. Ayton was the first receiver that time, and another run for S.A. Banu. Try against Canada, in fact, was the player's player against Canada. So there's form on the board. The halves are good young players. That ball a little too deep. Didn't quite get that right, and that was an easy catch for Shizuoka for Australia, and a 7-tackle set from the 20-metre line.
Yeah, and probably 2-3 metres further infield, that kick might have put a little bit more pressure on the Australians, but yeah, it gives them a 7-tackle set coming out of their line, which is not what they wanted.
You will see in Leela Malabag, I mean, she's a live wire, the number 7 for Papua New Guinea, but very slight. It is tough when some of these big edge back rowers run at her. But that is the game of rugby league, and she's plenty game. She won't back away. So Australia with a attacking raid for the first time. Right-hand corner, and Chapman and Shizuoka on that side of the field. Now they'll come across to the Kelly and Polite side, and there's some real attacking force there. 25 metres away, terrible play, the ball by Harden, and Belinda Sharp straight away rules ball control is lost, and that's a carry on from Australia v New Zealand. That's just untidy.
It is, yeah, and again, obviously not the end of the set the Australians wanted, but again, glimpses of how good they can be in attack. And I think for Papua New Guinea to get anywhere close in this game, they have to slow them down, and when they do slow them down, they can reset and put some pressure on. But I think once Australia get a roll on, they're hard to contain.
33 tries Australia scored, 33 tries, 2 conceded across their 3 matches. Driving defence. And Papua New Guinea begin this set inside their own 20. A little bit of work to do for them. I think it's fair to say there's a few nerves to start the game, and that's understandable. 5.5 minutes in. And another run for Banu. She's working very hard early on. You don't have to have the C next to your name to be a leader. And there's plenty of leaders in this Orchid side. Ayton's an incredible story, the dummy half, now LCL, but Ayton 10 years retired after a knee injury in 2008. 10 years. What a run from Albert. She lost the ball at the finish.
Oh, great carry.
Belinda Sharp has a penalty. That's one of the best runs by a front rower at the World Cup, full stop.
Yeah, she does a really good job for Papua New Guinea. Tips up time after time. I'm not even sure she's been subbed this tournament, and just carries her team forward 10-15 metres every single time, and really puts the Jillaroos under some pressure. But not in a negative way. She doesn't really do anything fancy, but does her job really, really well and carries the team forward.
Well, the Australians are on the end of a Amber Hall assault, weren't they, in the match against New Zealand?
Yeah, how good was she? Yeah.
Dynamic performance, and Elsie Albert maybe laying a platform to do the same. So these are really good signs for the Orchids early. They are leaving a trail of destruction. The power game is on show.
Yeah, and how good has Jessica Reeves been this tournament as well? A young forward as well, and new to playing for Papua New Guinea, and she's been outstanding for PNG.
And now the early kick to the in goal. It looks a little too hard. That's disappointing. They've gone for the kick on the third. That I don't mind, but you want to make sure you get it right. Yeah,
again, it just gives Australia a bit of a let-off, and just relieving the pressure a little bit there. And yeah, they want to get a repeat set or score in those conditions.
So what you've seen tonight from Albert, Cowper, Banu, Rees, Awoy, the forwards for Papua New Guinea, you know their game plan. And good counter-attack, Chapman coming in off the wing. Almost back to halfway. Now Brigginshaw as a middle forward.
Yeah, big yards as well. Just quick play of the balls, catching the markers a little bit unset and just really getting on the front foot. But yeah, another error there from Australia.
Over that side, Guasamon and Malawia. Let's see the pressure they put on. I mean, really, I just think that's poor execution, Australia. I mean, there's not much doing. You can't play that close to the sideline in these conditions.
Yeah, probably a little bit flat there as well. Not a lot of space, a little bit flat, and just, yeah, almost a panic pass. And it's probably not a word you use too much with the Australian team, but it's almost, yeah, they're just the end of passes just aren't sticking.
So at the moment, it's a continuation on. Oh, now big shot has turned it over. Polite with the ball for Australia and has got away for the corner. Then the cover is brilliant from De La Cruz. What a tackle from the fullback for the Orchids. That was quite sensational.
And a great shot from there, Australia, to get the ball back so close to the line, but what a cover tackle there.
Well, I reckon Tonegata scores 99 times out of 100 there. Australia, though, still on the attack and a dummy half run and spin, and that will be the first try of the night. Belinda Sharp with a clear view of it. Keely Davis stealing a dummy half try. The St George Illawarra Dragon up in the hooking spot for Australia tonight has the first 4-pointer.
Yeah, great try there. You almost feel a little bit for Papua New Guinea there. Great scramble defence. They've got the numbers in and just really smart play there to score for Australia. But yeah, you know, again on the back of a few errors as well. But what a contact that was. Big shot underneath the ball and gets the ball back for a team.
Typical dummy half determined try. Burrow low and then roll over and score.
Yeah, it's a great try with the numbers there as well.
But really liking the start. I mean, we talk about Australia sadly picking up where they left off against New Zealand with a few errors, but the effort of Papua New Guinea is picking up from where they started against England. That first 20-25 minutes was outstanding football from them.
Yeah, they're a big physical team and they've got a pack that can play. You know, they tip on, they play at the line, they turn up for each other, and a lot of repeat efforts. I think we've just seen glimpses of it in the first 10 minutes of where they probably will come a little bit unstuck with this Australian team if they get on the front foot with quick rucks.
Lauren Brown is going to be a factor if Australia make the final. Her goal kicking is some of the best in the women's game. Kicked 6 on debut against the Cook Islands, kicked 10 goals against France. She's played in every game so far. I dare say she'd be the starting hooker for Old Trafford. Gee, that's going to be a moment Saturday. Doesn't matter who we have playing, whether it's England or New Zealand or Australia or Papua New Guinea, just the biggest day ever for women's rugby league.
Yeah, what an occasion for rugby league on the bigger stage at Old Trafford. You know, double header with the men's. It's been a long time coming, but what an occasion for these women, and I think every team will be desperate to get there.
Alicia Harden on that run. 5 metres short of halfway, and Australia looking now to get into their game. Good shot over the top there on Wheeler from Banu. Made the tackle count. Gee, they give good service. Awoy, Banu and Reeves, the back rowers, as good as the front rowers. So now Australia not clinical, and Brown had to check her run. And as a result, the kick not all that flash. And Annika Butler with the ball for PNG. Scored a try against both Brazil and the Cook Islands. So it's a shot there.
Contact, yeah.
That's pretty good from Olivia Koenig. That was technically perfect. You wouldn't see a better tackle than this. Watch this. Oh, there's a bit of shot there as well, mind you, with Fuimaono standing her ground, but Most of the drive came from Koenig on Molawia, coming in from the wing. Now with Albert, another run. In rugby league, we talk about post-contact meters. Well, Albert and Amber Hall for New Zealand, they're the leaders in this competition for the women's. Rushed kick from Malabag, the halfback. Probably needs to do a little better than that. That is one area they need to improve on what they've displayed so far in the contest. Kicking game really hasn't resulted in anything.
Yeah, and I think that's the third set now they've had close to the Australian line, and they just need to be a little bit better to apply some more pressure and, you know, just stop Australia from starting their set on the front foot.
Australia up and over the 40-metre line. There's Kelly. I mean, you could play Kelly, and you've got Surges coming off the bench tonight for Australia. I reckon they make brilliant back rowers as well. Strong running athletic players. And there's a set restart for Australia. Wheeler slow to her feet. Harden sees a little gap behind the markers there. So now Australia playing a direct game in this set. And the try scorer, I see Albert called out there by referee Belinda Sharp. Wanting quick play the balls. Brown double pump and run. Now there's overlap. Kelly is with the ball. Kelly will back herself strong and rolls over. In steamroller mode, in fact, Isabel Kelly, as I said, I reckon she'd make a terrific back rower, but she's an outstanding centre in women's rugby league.
Yeah, I think that's the depth the Australian team have in their squad, is that, you know, they've got a big group of players who can play across different positions. It's, you know, a luxury that some other teams don't have, but what a great finish there. Great strength on one to get over the line there.
Was Brown with the lead-up work. Lovely little double pump of the ball. Confusing the defence as you get a pass short. Then dummy again, run. Set-up is beautiful, and try and stop that. All the momentum with Kelly running at Shea Yvonne Dela Cruz here. Isabel Kelly, we've told you before, the semi-final and final from the World Cup in 2017, in her highlights reel are try-doubles in both those matches. And she's proven herself big match player. The state of origin format that we have in Australia, Isabel Kelly has starred on that stage, so she is one who's ready for Old Trafford. Brown all well left with that one. But a 10-0 scoreline through 15.5 minutes. Watch the try again. Good player, isn't she, Lauren Brown? You know, you just pretty much you could put any position, she'll play a role in the team.
Yeah, she's a quality player, whether she's playing at hooker or in the halves, and yeah, just real quality there, just to hold up 3 or 4 of the Papua New Guinean players and create a little bit of space on the outside for her teammates. But yeah, brilliant player. Well,
I've said before, you could put up an argument for Lauren Brown, who you're watching tonight if you're watching Australia for the first time, as Australia's most talented footballer, because she has starred at football, at soccer in Australia, playing in the W League. She's played rugby union sevens for Australia, and here she is playing rugby league for Australia. So across the 3 football codes, has played at elite level. That is some achievement. Australia 10 metres inside their own half, and Papua New Guinea now just have to play a bit of hang-on football here. They have to make Australia complete a set and get the ball back, because look at the metres being made here. Brigginshaw has stepped almost all the way through the front door there. Well, the frontline defence of Papua New Guinea now. Harden chases up.
Yeah, I think on those forward carries off of the ruck, that Australia were just going behind the ruck, behind the markers, and just really putting the A and B defenders in the back.
Tonegato's under the ball. Here they come again. Kelly will get a second. Well, that may be one of the best sets we've seen from the Jillaroos at this World Cup. It wasn't for the lack of trying from the Papua New Guinea defenders, but Australia were all running like their lives depended on it.
Yeah, and it's so quick, and as I was just saying there, that they're hitting behind the ruck really smartly. That Papua New Guineans aren't getting set. The markers, they're trying to slow it down. They can't slow it down. The markers aren't set, and they're just hitting behind that ruck at air defender, and it's just making it really difficult. Defenders are after the suck in, and it's just creating all this space on the edge for Isabel Kelly to have a walk in there.
And they didn't actually get it absolute clinical. It was a tap on sort of, I don't know whether they've got a hand to it, but once Tonegado has it in a hand, she can go from 0 to 100 pretty quickly. And then we saw Kelly will put up a defender in front of her. She'll run over the top of you. If she's only going to run 15 with no defenders, well, it's good night as well. So they now have 3 tries. And Brown again has a shot from just inside the 10. I'll give you a little more about Lauren Brown, because, you know, you've got to combine working jobs with rugby league. She had a dog walking business. And walking the dogs, she was doing, I think, something like 20 Ks a day or more. Well, that's fair fitness. Very great initiative by Lauren Brown. The dog walker.
We've got the nice weather in Australia as well.
Oh, well, that's right. I mean, over here, if you have a dog walking business,
too hot
walking
to
in the
walk the
dark
dogs,
this time
maybe.
of year, aren't you? Like,
We're not allowed to walk our dogs if it gets too hot.
but see, tonight, just so our viewers from far afield, we're here in York, and this game kicking off at 5 o'clock in the afternoon local time. It's been dark since about 4 o'clock. Like, the sun said good night to us a long time ago, and then when you get a combination of the mist coming in,
Adds to the atmosphere, though.
well, it does.
It's like we're in a little bubble.
It's beautiful. It reminds me of the old days watching kangaroo tours from Australia and matches. You'd see them and the fog would come in. Famously, there's been test matches called off with a fog, going all the way back to the 1948 kangaroo tour. So Australia in possession now. Just over the 30-metre line. Let's take a comment from pitch side from Jenna Brooks. Jenna?
Yeah, afternoon, Vossi. All the talk ahead of this game was how tough the Gillaroos win over the Kiwi Ferns on Thursday was. The head coach, Brad Donald, after that game told his players not to forget that the Kiwi Ferns will be feeling exactly the same. Tired bodies, pain in the bodies. And he said that it was important that they won and that they avoided England in the semi-finals. They're up against a physical PNG side, but they look comfortable at this stage, Vossi.
Yeah, they do. If they were shaky for the first 6 or 7 minutes, but the last 10 or so has been a performance of excellence. And here's another set. They've got to the end of it. De La Cruz had to play the safety card there.
Yeah, and that's the difference. You know, PNG have had 3 or 4 sets on the Aussie line and couldn't get a repeat set, but a delicate little kick there on the button, really putting pressure there, and no choice but other to kick that ball out.
Yeah, that's good skill on the run. You know, if you got your dummy half able to do that as an extra option, then defences are going to be on their heels. So Malabag with the short line dropout. That's a good stop close to the sideline. Again, slippery conditions. You get that skidding ball, but that is play 1, 10 metres from the line. Left side has proven valuable here. They're going to penalise the marker. So we have an offside penalty here, and I don't think Fui Mayono's thinking take the 2. It'll be tap and run for Australia. They are not mucking around now. Brigginshaw back to her best tonight. 5 metres from the line. It's creating a bit of an issue for coach Brad Donald, who plays where in the final. So left side, they will come. The defence rushed up. That's all bad. If you rush up, you've got to come up with something. And Australia help themselves to a 4th try. You can't go lone wolf here in defence on your own goal line.
No, that's the energy from Papua New Guinea, but that's really clever play. That's really clever play, just to see what's in front of you. Wait to see what the defenders do to react and just pick the money ball. And again, just made it look easy.
All smiles with Shaylee Bent scoring the try. Told you her partner David Fafita played for Tonga at the World Cup with the men's. A lovely little hole to run through there, and again it's the very talented Lauren Brown who's doing the work. She's a super player. That's good, isn't it? Catch and bounce off the left.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, she makes it look easy, yeah, but these are all little skills that are they're hard, and what a quality player to have in your side. I think this is this the fourth half partnership they've had? I don't think we've had the same two playing in the halves, and yeah, she's, you know, it's only been 22 minutes, but she's really standing up and making a case here.
So there's Brown now with another success. So 4 tries, 2 goals, 20-0 scoreline. And poor old Papua New Guinea, when was the last time they had a tackle in possession? I mean, it's just been, that was back-to-back sets because of the line dropout, but it's been kick-off, have full set, kick-off, have full set.
Yeah, it's difficult. And, you know, this Australian team are just really difficult to contain. They've, you know, they're quick around the ruck, they're catching them at marker and air defenders, but then when they're shooting up and trying to put some pressure on, they're clever enough just to pick a different pass and a different option. So yeah, it's a tough team and a tough team to defend against.
This time they've gone high left, but not long. That's neither here nor there, that kick-off.
Yeah, they need to be getting that as close to the Australian line as they can, and just applying some pressure and playing the match in their 10-20. But it's not offering them any favours getting the ball so close to halfway with 2 tackles gone.
Yeah, 2 tackles in and into the PNG half they go. And everyone wants a touch at the moment. There's a real spring in the step that's developed in this Australian side now. They are on the front foot. Tonegato's speed is a killer. Have a look at that. She's burnt the defence. Covered there. Not able to stop another Australian try. A little too fast and a little too strong. Avania Pelite scores the try. And Australia in robust form, in rampaging form at the moment. They are sending out a warning shot here.
They are, and they put the numbers in on the left-hand side, and I think PNG are a little bit slow to react and readjust, but that's just one-on-one skill and power there, just to go through that line with ease, and numbers flooding through to pass to.
She's a beautiful athlete, Tonegato. I mean, balanced runner. Now, all the while she's making that break, watch the eyes. She's aware of where her support is and sets it up, rebalances, sets it up perfectly. And Pelite scoring the try. Tonegato, an Olympian, 2-time Olympian in the Australian lineup. Pelite was a teammate at those Olympics, and we can call that an Olympic try, that one. Not often that happens.
Yeah,
Olympian to Olympian.
Yeah, do you know how lucky is rugby league as well to get these athletes and get them in this team and have them on show.
Lauren Brown with his kick. Another hard one. She's getting a lot of practice. Oh, she hits the upright. Back on there. 2 from 5. I'll get a word from you now, Andrea, of what we have coming a little later on. Second semi-final, England v New Zealand. Your thoughts as kick-off gets a little closer? Have you changed your mind during the week?
No, I'm confident. I think Brad Donald summed it up there, saying that they didn't want England in the semi-final is a real compliment to the English side. And the match of the day, I think we saw the Kiwis at the best, but I think it would also have taken a lot out of them. So yeah, you know, we've got a great English side, and if they play to their strength, we'll certainly be within a good chance. But yeah, I'm still calling an England win.
Shorty's kick-off again, but again, it's not giving the chasers an opportunity to challenge for it. And then, of course, you're giving Australia ball outside the 30-metre zone. So that is one area that needs to be addressed. So kicking in general, oh, that's better. Up in the face, and, well, they're forced an error. Well done, Orchids. It's been a while. Bent with a drop ball, a juggle, then lost.
Yeah, probably not a pass that was needed there. Probably just go forward 2-3 tackles and keep the ball. But yeah, see what PNG have here now.
All right, let's see what reserves of energy they have. Coroy has come around to the right. She wants it. Oh, and they've dropped it from the scrum. De La Cruz putting it down. Poor old Ben Jeffries. It's a fun caper, this coaching stuff, you know.
Yeah, that's a frustrating one. You know, first tackle, good ball. It's frustrating as a coach and frustrating for the players. But, you know, when you do get hold of the ball against this Australian side, you have to keep it.
That's the second time it's happened. First tackle from the scrum. The eyes shut. What a replay there of Ben Jeffries. I said before, coaching, you know, more fun sitting in a dentist chair than being a coach at times. Tonegado, they're off again, the Australians. Supporters pushing through. There's lots of PNG chasers, but they're not going to be able to get there. The speed machine on show there. Shazolka finishes it off. But in players like Tonegado and Chapman, they got some of the quickest in the women's game, and they showed it there.
Yeah, too fast, too strong, but, you know, eyes up, spotting space, and I think it's back to where we've seen Australia in the pool game. Sometimes they can turn up, they can play with a bit of shape and structure, which came from there, but then just spot the gaps and go. And again, great push. There's always 2, 3, 4 players every time somebody's got the ball, and it just makes it easy to finish these tries.
Great to try for scrum. Here we go, Tonegado again. I'll put you under a bit of pressure right now. If you were the Australian coach and you've got to pick fullback between Emma Tonegado and Sam Bremner, which way are you going right now?
I'd go Tonegado.
Yeah, well.
Only because the games we've seen, I think Bremner had an unbelievable game, the first one, but under pressure, she probably, you know, there's still a lot of this game to go, but quite a few errors from Sam Bremner last game, and I know everybody's human and they had a bad day at the office, but currently on today's show, I'd go Tonegado. Mind
you, it's not a question where there's a wrong answer, to be quite honest, because they're both very good players.
All opinions.
Yeah, but someone has to make the decision. Someone has to start. It'll be Bremner or Tonegado. There's a tough call going to have to be made. 6 tries on the board.
Yeah, I think from watching, Tonegado is one of those players in open space. She can create something. I think Sam Bremner's phenomenal at just popping up at the right time for the little pass. The push play, the support play that Sam Bremner has is unbelievable. But I think probably Tonegado is probably a little bit more, you know, better in open space and returning the ball. But you know, I don't think there's much between them, to be honest.
Well, we can't keep doing these kickoffs right to left. We're going to have to do a little more than that. That's just giving the ball back. Look, you might as well just go low and low.
Yeah, they're just putting themselves under pressure. If it's going to go short, it's got to go on the floor. You want to put them under pressure, maybe a juggle, but yeah, they're just handing the ball over just in the wrong part of the field.
Just low, hard kick. Make them work a little harder. So Australia up over halfway. And they have forced another error. Well done, Orchid. So at least they're not rolling over. And that time the mistake made was Chapman. And Papua New Guinea will have possession.
They'll never give up, PNG. They get the bodies in there. They try 100% every time, and a good tackle there and a juggle. But they just need to keep hold of the ball and complete a set when they have the ball.
So, fingers crossed. Ball control here from this scrum. I don't think it'd be good for Ben Jeffries' health if they lost another.
No, they just need to keep it simple. Just complete this set and regain a little bit of confidence and try and get this Australian team under a little bit of pressure. But yeah, they've just got to complete this set.
Back into their power game mode. Elsie Albert on the run. And there it is again, Albert. What a destructive force she is. Still able to offload at the finish in the attempted tackle of Polite, who is now playing in the middle, or at least found herself in the middle of the field. And that is how they've gone. Jess Surges has come on the field out at left wing, and Polite has gone into the forward. So we've got Surges and Kelly playing side by side on Australia's left. Albert with another run. And every time, 3, and they get it to ground.
Yeah, I think that just shows the strength and depth that Australia have got for your winger to be able to go and play in the pack.
So this is a long-awaited opportunity. Be quite some time since they've been 20 metres out from the Australian line, but on the last tackle, not able to find an offload. Not the end of the world. It was good to get to the end, but Coroy, you would have liked to have seen just another question asked.
Just ask that question on the end of the set. I was waiting for you to cut me off then when she broke through, but yeah, just a better end of set. They're just not doing themselves any favours by turning the ball over, you know, quite cheaply.
Well, Awea has gone to fullback for Papua New Guinea now. They're number 17. But Australia back on this more direct passage. With 6 tries on the board in just under 33 minutes. Koenig on the right edge there. Better defence. Australia with Brigginshaw far more direct tonight. Brigginshaw looking really good as that middle forward. The modern day 13. She's got 3 on the back, but the way the lock plays, good ball on the outside. Polite with it, has offloaded. Papua New Guinea, desperate defence. They got a tackle without the ball. It was only a split second in it.
Yeah, that's unlucky as well. I think if that ball goes first time, 3-on-1 on that edge again, it'll just be a walk-in.
Yeah, no, well, can't argue with the decision. It was spot on from Belinda Sharp. Shelley Long definitely made contact with a support player. So Australia bearing down on try number 7. Keely Joseph turned and gets a real close look at the line. Was almost pushed over in playing the ball. Australia with runners to pick from. Runners aplenty. Koenig has gone over. So Olivia Koenig scores the 7th try of the night for Australia. One of the new breed in this Jillaroos lineup.
Yeah, and again, they could pick their options there. I think there was five Australians on that right edge attacking to three Papua New Guinea defenders. I think they're just trying to get bodies in down the middle to stem the Australians, and they're just picking and choosing their passes. But I thought that was a little bit unlucky, that call.
And then just a couple of tackles later. Again, not precise, but once they got it right. Koenig has a reputation as a great hole runner. She had a little bit more to do there. She plays with the Sydney Roosters in the RLWC in Australia and made the dream team this season. Good build, hasn't she, for a back rower?
Oh yeah, I mean, you could look across this Australian side and probably not pick the position for them all. You know, they all look very similar, athletic, powerful, and yeah, they can play anywhere.
So another 2 points on the tally in what has been a pretty good first half for Australia. Again, if you joined us late, the first 7-8 minutes, you thought, oh, hang on a second, they're not where they need to be. And some unforced errors, but from about the 10th minute, it has been what you expect of the Jillaroos. I'm pretty sure if we had a graph of breakdown of ball in hand possession rate since that point, it's probably been about 90% to 10.
Yeah, and Papua New Guinea have had quite a few errors, so it's not helping them out there.
Better from Vivas from the kickoff, just going longer. Chase it down, and Australia's inside their 30. That's a better result. I mean, it's a simple thing, but you know, they've got to look at those little areas, make it a little tougher for their opponents. Good run again, Tonegado. Staking a claim for fullback in the final. There you have it. 3 tackles again, and Australia inside the Papua New Guinea half. And you can hear Belinda Sharp, the referee, she's making the Orchid defenders work a little harder to get back for 10 at the moment. Fatigue now a factor with 3.5 minutes to go in the first half. Papua New Guinea desperate for the ball. Polite through the centre. Bit of a wrecking ball mode from her tonight.
Yeah, and I think the Australians have just been very clever in attack. You know, they've gone down the middle when they've spotted the forwards a bit slower to retreat, and they've played where the spaces are. They've been very clever.
Last tackle, Polite over the top. There's another one coming. Kelly has got a hat-trick in the first half. Lovely cameo there from Jess Surgis. And at left wing, it was coolly done, close to the sideline. Position Kelly and Isabel Kelly, 3 tries first half. Well, the versatility of the skills is probably the point to highlight there. Polite starts the game at wing, goes to forward, then throws a ball like the best halfback in the world.
Yeah,
over the top.
Yeah, it is unbelievable. And for anybody new to rugby league or watching the women's game for the first time, that, you know, this team on show is unbelievable, and it's hard to find the negatives. And apart from a few errors which have had, there's hard to find negatives in this team. Yeah,
some brilliant passing there, and that's the area. Lots of areas, obviously, things are improving, but the passing game in women's rugby league is next level now, and you saw it there from all players involved.
Yeah, I think you know, on shore, players move into different positions, but also doing really well in those positions and knowing the roles of the different positions. And it's, you know, we certainly won't want to be Brad Donald picking this team for the final on Saturday for sure.
Kelly's gone one better than the 2017 semi-finals. Double there now. She's got a hat-trick here. I don't think another try is beyond Australia in the 90 seconds coming up to half-time if they hang on to the ball, because the Orchids are out on their feet at the moment.
Yeah, they are. They've weathered a lot, and I think, yeah, they're certainly trying to suck the air in at the minute. They'll be counting down this 20 seconds for sure.
A 40-0. Oh, that's not too good, although pretty clever just to trap that on the boot. That was Keely Joseph. Not the sort of pass you want on a wet, slippery night. Watch this. Probably an accidental trip. I think it found a feet rather than a feet finding the ball, to be honest.
Yeah, and again, if you're looking for little errors, that, you know, when the team that comes to play them in the final, they'll be looking at little things like that. They do have an error in them, and under pressure they have an error in them. So, you know, those are the little things that they will be looking to fix up.
So Australia, the last possession of the half, you would think. Well, they try a little trick shot here on the last. They go kick when they possibly could have run. It's a high ball. This is not easy. It may have been knocked forward by Surgis. Waiting to see the call. They got a tackle count restart. So no hand from Surgis in all of that. What a devil of a kick to get right on half time.
I'm with you there. I thought there was an Australian hand in there, but
towering kick, and it was Annika Butler. Not much he could do. So Wheeler up to the line. Final seconds of the first half, in fact. We've got a lost ball. So there's room for improvement. But the good has been very good from the Gillaroos here. They have scored 8 tries. They got on a roll from about the 10th minute. Isabel Kelly, 3 tries first half. At the break, it's Australia on the way to Old Trafford, leading Papua New Guinea 40 points to 0.
Australia making a statement in York in this semi-final double-header. The Gillaroos have gone on an 8-try rampage as they aim to be the first country through to this World Cup final in Old Trafford in Manchester this weekend. Now, the Gillaroos, they had to hold out a spirited start from the Orchids. Corbin Baxter and Millie Boyle are your experts. This was a nice lead-up work from the Aussies, and once this unfolded, it was just one-way traffic.
Yeah, 10 minutes in, it was definitely a tough battle between both sides, but Keely Davis gets over the white line for her first World Cup try, and once she's that close, she just burrows in and gets down nice and low, and yeah, very deserving for her, and I'm stoked for her.
40-0 looks exceptional. Keeping up with the clock is unbelievable to hit the sheds at half-time, but still a little bit of work to do for the Aussies.
Yeah, definitely. There's lots of space opening up for them. You know, they have the best shape in the competition, and we've seen that. So, yeah, it's just about, I think, sticking patient, sticking to the process, and preparing for, you know, that next game.
Well, it is 40-0 in favour of the Gillaroos. After the break, all the highlights coming up from York. It is the World Cup semi-finals, live and exclusive on Fox League. Well, welcome back to a green and gold domination in York. The Australian women are 40 minutes away from a World Cup final. As it stands, they lead 40-0 over Papua New Guinea. Corbin Baxter and Millie Boyle PNG Orchids, they were pushing up early, great effort, but then Keely Davis just took matters into their own hand. And then from there, it was just a non-stop try fest, really.
Yeah, PNG started really strong, but once Jillaroos found their groove and got over for the first time with Keely, they sort of just kept on coming. I think Lauren Brown's been awesome. She's been setting up tries left, right and centre for her left edge, which has been nice. Emma Tonegado, she's been an absolute gun out there. She's got a bit of space. She's showing what she can do. She's got speed to burn. I think we've seen her at her absolute best as well.
Yeah, and then down this right edge, as you said, Emma Tonegado is just showing that she can work both sides of the field there, and especially off that set scrum play, she's just so damaging out. She identifies the space and she takes the ball to the line, and then she's got such great passing game as well, and she can do that late pass. She's always got that support from her teammates as well, so you know the support's only as good as the run. So.
And Isabel Kelly, she's a world-class player. No tries so far, but she's kicked off with a hat trick this morning. Gee, it was almost worth the wait for Isabel Kelly. Now, Emma Tonegado, you spoke about her involvement. She is an elite fullback, but against the Kiwi Ferns a few days ago, she played an hour as a middle forward. Is there anyone like her in the world at the moment that can jump from fullback into the forwards and not even skip a beat and still have important input into a game?
She's just such a selfless player. You hear from her in all of her post-match talks, and she just will do anything for the team. We know that she, specialises out the back, and she's, incredible at what she does back there. But her versatility has been on show this tournament, and seeing her in the 9, seeing her in lock, and she'll just do what she has to for the team. She'll run hard and do what she needs.
I think she'd prefer to play fullback, let's be honest. But no, it's great to see her, putting her hand up and playing wherever the team needs her. But she definitely adds so much to the team, no matter where she is on that playing sheet.
I mean, all things going well, Australia will play in this final. If you're looking at Emma Tonegado and Sam Bremner, both elite fullbacks, both very different, who do you think Brad would lean towards? And do you think Emma's really making a case to stay at number 1?
I think she's proved enough that she can, and she's played in some tough games as well. She's showed that she can be versatile if that's what the team needs, and it will be a really tough decision whether she starts at fullback or whether she comes off the bench and covers the multiple positions that she has. There's definitely a spot for Emma Tonegado in the team.
What about Lauren Brown? We spoke about this new halves pairing. This is her first exposure to starting half. How's she gone so far in this first 40 minutes?
I think she's been awesome. It's just the little subtle things that she's done. She's got a great little step just to beat that player, and then, with the players outside of her, like Isabel Kelly, just hitting holes, and Vani Polide, like she's just creating stuff, which is what you want from your halfback. So it's been really good seeing her do her thing in the 7. She's
such an accomplished athlete. She looks really calm, and she never seems hurried. She never seems cramped for time. Does she create space? And just about her game management, are we seeing that revealed as this tournament goes on?
Yeah, I think Lauren can show that she's played multiple positions as well, and it's great to see that she's always got her hands on the ball, and she's played every game of the World Cup, unlike the rest of the players. So she's showed that she can back up. She's ready to play. No matter where they put her, she can always perform. So it's great to see her there, and setting Izzy up for a few tries as well, which is great.
Well, it is Australia 40-0 at halftime. A huge second half coming up from York. You are watching the Women's World Cup doubleheader. It is a semi-final elimination underway. You're watching live and exclusive on Fox League.
Best place in the world every game, it's longer than we used to have.
But able to train as well, have longer sessions if you do want to work on something after a game. I mean, it's very hard to have one full training session to tweak things. I mean, not much can be achieved there.
No, exactly, and it'll just be rest, recover, recoup, get some bodies treated, and get as many players back fit as you can for the next game. Like you say, there won't be much time or energy to fix up what needs fixing, and and if you do train again, you just add into that.
I'm already excited about 2025 in France. The locations, the venues, the grounds, but I just think, and you look at the women's game, how quickly we're developing and just getting, like, this is already, you quantify it. 50% better in terms of quality of the last World Cup? You know, where we're going to be in another 3 years' time?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for me, it's standing here looking at how many people are in this stadium for the semi-final, and you know, England aren't on yet, and you'd imagine it'd be packed out for the England game. And I think that in itself makes a statement as where Women's Rugby League is currently. You know, it's attracting more people watching, more players, and more people getting involved in this. You know, this has just been a massive positive for the women's game, this whole tournament.
Ready then for the second half. Ben Jeffries still to get back to the coach's area. I can report Sam Bremner is on for Australia, but not playing at fullback. Tonegado will continue in the fullback spot as Papua New Guinea have a little committee meeting around the ball from the kickoff. Like it was a campfire and they were warming their hands. But all's well that ends well, and they have the ball back on their 20-metre line.
Yeah, they'll just be looking to keep hold of the ball, complete some sets and challenge in the right areas they need to be challenging. They're just putting themselves under a lot of pressure and a lot of work. Again, just coming out of their own half or turning the ball over and, you know, not close enough to the Australian line. So they'll just be looking to complete the first few sets and try and work their way back into the game a little bit.
Emily Viva's on the run. Let's take the halftime report from Jenna Brooks. Jenna?
Well, see, I've spoken to both head coaches. Brad Donald first, the head coach of the Jillaroos. He really wants them to start well in this second half. He said that he felt that they made it hard on themselves early on. He wants them to get back to what they know, keep it simple. He wants more push and support in the middle and to fine-tune in this second half and hopefully set them up for what will be, of course, a showpiece event on Saturday at Old Trafford. As far as Papua New Guinea goes, Ben Jeffries, I asked him, how do you instill belief in this side when you're trailing by 40 points? He said they just need to reset their minds. They need to start again. And he wants them to walk away from York with no regrets.
Well, the first set was good, Jenna. It was textbook stuff, getting to their kick and now defending. And a good shot there on Wheeler. Made it count, first contact. There's Conroy getting in there. So Australia 30 metres away from the line. Brown takes them left side. The Isabel Kelly show continues in York. This time throwing the pass for the last try. She returns the favour for Jess Surgis. You're talking a couple of real pin-up players from the Australian Rugby League in Jess Surgis and Isabel Kelly.
Yeah, and again, great play there from Lauren Brown at the half. She's just biding her time, picking the right option, waiting to see what that defender does. I think it's Guasamoon who shoots out the line there and just creates that space for Lauren Brown the pass, and she just seems to have a lot of time and is just picking the passes for fun.
So this is quite something. This is a good dilemma to have, but what Brown is doing, what Tonegado has done in two key positions, that is really throwing a spanner into the works if Coach Donald had a number one lineup in mind. Remember, Aiken is there and has been sensational. You think she plays in the halves?
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't write her out. It's, you know, I think the only thing that for the coaching team is that it's Papua New Guinea, it's not New Zealand. If you put the same pair in against New Zealand, would they be having as much joy? They're not going to get that opportunity. It's hard to call. So yeah, again, if it was up to me on the performances I've seen, I'd go Aiken and Brown.
Yeah, this is the best performance by an Australian halfback so far in the tournament. Aiken's been starring at 5'8", but what Brown's done at halfback tonight, great. Kelly locked in for a centre spot now, you would think. Surges as a winger now in the second half is an interesting option as well. Vivas, I'm glad they're going longer on the kickoffs. At least they've corrected one area once Emily Vivas came into the match.
Yeah, and she's been good for Papua New Guinea as well. I think I'm surprised to see her on the bench rather than starting, but yeah, she's been good for Papua New Guinea as well. I think they're just on the back end of another so far a good Australian performance. They're just struggling to contain them.
And now off and running with Fume. Oh no, beautiful footwork. Just knocked off her feet and then knocked off again.
Yeah, great tackle there.
Wheeler for Papua New Guinea. Wheeler steadies it up with one. That's the fourth tackle. But Australia's 20 metres away. This is looking ominous here. To the right side, Brigginshaw, nice work. Quick hands along. Shazolka knows to keep away from the sideline. Did everything right there. Last tackle, Australia. Where does this one go? Bremner, little kick through for Mayono. It's a bounce ball, and Papua New Guinea come up with it.
Yeah, and again, probably the wrong option. They had the numbers on the left-hand side queuing up there. It probably would have been a better option to go wide left, but again, credit to Papua New Guinea. They're sticking in, they're getting the bodies in, they're getting numbers around the ball, and again, they just need to complete some sets and get back into this game a little bit.
And there, the ball's been turned over under some pretty forceful defence as well. That makes the job a little tougher. Zero tackle when the ball is turned over. It's a free play. This was the turnover. She's worked really hard, S.A. Banu, but that time, team under pressure. Australia hit back. And Shazolka out in the right corner scores her second try of the night. And the Gillaroos have hit 50.
Yeah, and a great ball there out to the right. I think S.A. Banu's just probably panicked a little bit there, and they're under pressure. They're trying to get some go forward. They're trying to create something out of nothing, and it just creates that error, turnover ball, and again, Australia just too good.
That is 10 tries for the night, and now 43 for the tournament, with only the 2 conceded against New Zealand. Everyone plays their role there. And to me, see, that's a better sign than, and shows that message got across. Because again, against France, there were just too many run-the-line players getting in the way, wanting to get their name on the score sheet. Well, that was the perception. But yeah, there they kept their attack, and, you know, the gap will come.
Yeah, that's what the coaching team will want to see. You want to stick to the game plan. You want to stick to your shape and structures, because when it does come to the final, they're up against tougher opposition. They're going to have to be clinical. They're going to have to stick to the plan. And yeah, and I think a few teams have been.
I was just going to say, Lauren Brown was going to take a shot at goal there, and the referee not with her. She was totally through her routine and was about to move in without Belinda Sharp there.
I can't see that corner.
Exactly, around the corner here in our commentary position. This is right from the touchline for Brown. Not beyond her though. There's the strike from Lauren Brown. She's done it. Oh, she's a wonderful player. She's got so many skills. Sadly, Vivas goes off for the Orchids. Brown bangs one over from the sideline. And if all the 4s become 6s, it's going to be a very big score in the second half. Good ball there, Olivia Koenig as well.
Yeah, great vision.
Albert back on the field, and with Vivas off the field, we go back to the shorter kickoffs off the boot of Shelley Long. And the Gillaroos with the ball. So no Ali Brigginshaw out. You would think maybe Brigginshaw is now in cotton wool for the final, be it whatever positions he's going to play. What a run there by Keely Joseph. Offloading. Doesn't find the hand. Play on the call, chance on the left side, lurking is Kelly, but the run of Polite is enormous. Ben, we call that a don't argue. Papua New Guinea end up with a ball.
Yeah, great power there from Polite, but again, probably just that one extra pass too many.
Oh, Orchids with an error just outside from their 10-metre zone. Early on, this is what they've done a few times.
Yeah, no, you feel there for S.A. Banu. She's turning up every single play, every single early tackle count. She's a player there on the ball, and I think it's just I think it's just wiping her of all the energy she's got. Again, we talk about the quick turnaround. I think she's played some really big minutes, if not all of them, for Papua New Guinea as well. So, yeah, you feel for her a little bit there.
Fair to say the lip readers are blushing after that. A few times they've been their own worst enemy, it has to be said, the Orchids tonight. So, Australia from the scrum, and Bremner held it up, wasn't quite in sync there. Tonegado, the dancing feet back through the middle, and finding Joseph. And Elsie Albert has come up with a try-saver. Although, we're going to check it. Australia aren't celebrating at all, but Belinda Sharp will just check that with the video referee. Australia back to play it. This could be an easy one for our video referee. Let's have a listen.
Video referee to match director. There is an on-field decision of no try. Can we please check all the available angles, please, of the ball going towards the try line, please? So the ball's still in a possession there. It's short of the line. The momentum takes her over the line. I can't see the ball on that angle, apart from I can clearly see at that point it's up. So it's before this I need to look. So she's short there. It's lifted up clear of the line. It's not anywhere near the ground. Thank you. I have seen all the available angles I need, and I've now made my decision. Well,
the players have their decision, and they're back ready to play the ball. That's the people that could have had the try. They'd conceded a good 30 seconds ago. But that's our process. That's our process. We just cross the T's, dotted the I's, cross the T's, dotted the I's, and then cross the T's a third time there. So, here we get going again, 10 metres out from the line. And Bremner in a playmaking role on that right edge. There's lots of Orchids jerseys there, like about 6 of them. And managing to make the tackle on Chapman, and then another held up. No, this time the ball is down. Harden is it who scores the try. Yes, Talisha Harden scoring the try for Australia, one of the more popular members of the squad. She gets a 4-pointer.
Yeah, and that's just that she's worked really hard so far this evening, and yeah, great role with the try there. Again, and unlucky from PNG, they got the numbers there. I think they're just struggling with that first contact and containing them. A great try there, great power to turn and score that.
There's one with all the experience in the world that, of course, wouldn't let you down on the World Cup final stage, but not sure whether she'll be in the 17. Did skipper the side against France. Just came on the scene with the Australian side in 2015. So one of the more experienced players. All the 4s are turned into 6s for Australia. And that is bad news for the Orchids. First time in a semi-final of the World Cup. I would say from these shots too, I mean, this is just a little observation. I think the demeanour of the coach is a little more game-faced tonight than what we've seen earlier in the tournament. It is about dress rehearsal for Old Trafford right now.
Yeah, he'll be giving nothing away.
Stay on.
Fairly relaxed the first couple of games against Cook Islands and France. Chapman on that run, and then lifted and thrown down in the tackle.
Wait.
Humeo out there. 21. There's no shortage of experience as players from the last World Cup with his PNG squad. Now for Wheeler. And this is like Australia from the first half. Back to that straight running, following up from points. And again, the speed and the strength. Polite offloading. Australia have another one. They're coming from all directions at the moment. Tonegado scores. But now it's getting too hard to come up with a final 13. Avania Polite, in whatever position she plays, she's done a bit of everything tonight.
Yeah, outstanding again and again. Just making it look easy. That, you know, you're just saying that they went back to basics a little bit and strong carries going forward. But when they need to play, when they need to turn it on, they've just got the the talent all around the park and can just pick the passes, pick the plays, and again, just every carry, every half break, they've got 3-4 players around them.
She's been enormous though, hasn't she, tonight? Vania Polite and the speed of Tonegado will always get her in position in a support role. So we've now got 9 different try scorers for Australia tonight across the 12 tries that have been scored. And Brown getting a very healthy tally here. 8 goals for Brown. Look at the power. Almost exploding through that gap. And this is what we talk about, longer breaks between games, more time to train as a group. I mean, there were a lot of newcomers in this Australian squad at this level. Just to have that little bit of extra time, how much better performances are.
Yeah, and I think that'll account for all the teams. They don't want the time, but it almost seems like the Australians have used bar the Kiwi game where I think they came a bit unstuck, but I think they've just used these matches as almost training runs just to see where he's going to play plays in the final and for his final 13. I think he's just giving everybody a run everywhere, and yeah, almost to me anyway, just like almost training matches.
So Australia possession again. And really the end score is in their hands, because if they control the ball here, there's plenty more tries available to them in 26.5 minutes. Koenig held up there. And better.
Yeah, good contact there.
If you can produce that 4 tackles out of 6, it'll be good on Joseph. That was Michelle John. Now Australia, last tackle. Koenig's got them going again. Chizolka's on the outside. So Bregner puts it down. Well, probably if they had it over again, Chapman probably should have gone right side rather than left.
Yeah, early ball and give 2-on-1. Score in the corner there. And yeah, great scramble defence from PNG. But yeah, if that ball had gone, I think we'll be having a try. But good pressure from Papua New Guinea as well to scramble.
Yeah, I love that LC Albert coming across the front rower is the player that is the last line of defence on Sam Bremner.
Yeah, and it just shows great effort, and she won't give up for the full 80 minutes. Again, it looks like she's going to do some big minutes again today. She'll certainly need a rest after this tournament.
Now, the Australian coach Brad Donald gets to see his team defending. Papua New Guinea, it's hard work trying to get away from your own 20. There's fair intent here. They're not just making tackles, they're finishing them off, and you saw that there, highlighted in the tackle of Yasmin Clydesdale.
Yeah, they've defended them very well. Numbers in the tackle, 2-3 in the tackle, they've slowed them down. I think the only one to really make any metres is LC Alba there, but yeah, they've muscled up really well, the Australians, and again, probably above the weight from what... they don't look the biggest, but again, we keep going on about how athletic and how powerful they are, and yeah, it's almost frustrating, the Papua New Guinea forwards.
A high ball, and so just ready to bring it back for Australia. Play one in advance of their 40-metre line at 64 points to 0. The only points of the tournament Australia conceded was in their last pool game against New Zealand. They had a hair pull there attempted on Isabel Kelly. It does happen.
Yeah, I think it's frustrating, a hair pull, I think, because you can grab shirts, you can get it. I think that they're very rarely intentional, but yeah, she did catch her there, but...
Oh, fleeting. I mean, you look at it in slow motion, it's tough one for a referee. I mean, they cite it, they rule on it, and I suppose if they're consistent, then that's it. I mean, you can't complain if they get it right every time like that. Now Harden for Australia. Gillaroos, can they add another different try scorer to the list? So 9 are on the board already. 9 of the 17 that are part of tonight's squad. Briganshaw is back on the field. Tonegado's onto it, too much speed. Tonegado, I mean, just that it's football speed. It gets her through the line. Showed it there again. Class player with speed. Very hard to keep her out of the 17 for Old Trafford.
Yeah, it makes it look easier. She's got a really deceptive turn of pace as well. It's almost like she's got 3 or 4 gears that she goes through, and subtle changes in direction, and then just foot on the gas. She's a real quality player to watch.
I'll tell you something about Emma Tomagliano too. I mean, we have Italy in the men's somewhere down the track, and I'm assuming Emma wants to keep playing for Australia, but she's actually eligible to play for Italy as well. Father is Italian, so if there's an Italian women's side down, boy, would they be making a bid for Emma Tomagliano.
Yeah, and I thought, do you know what? Generally, there's a lot of work going on at European Rugby League, and a lot more nations playing and becoming involved and playing rugby league. So yeah, down the line, hopefully we would have more nations playing and as many as possible competing.
Next World Cup, there's an expectation among league fans that we'll have an African nation competing across the World Cup. Another element, another facet to look forward to.
Yeah, how good would that be? And I think for the women's game, it's always been the same teams, you know, traditionally competing for the World Cups, and the more we can expand it, the more nations get involved, the more players play it, surely the better the competition is.
Well, you've got to believe that certainly in the Southern Hemisphere, the fact that the NRLW, the domestic women's competition, is expanding, as now the short kickoff is straight. Yes, Papua New Guinea with a ball. Brilliant play by Shelley Long. Shelley Long goes short and comes up with a ball.
Great inventive play there.
Now the crowd get right behind Papua New Guinea. There's a fan in front of our commentary here with a big drum that hasn't seen the light of day so far. Left side. But Australia have regrouped. This has livened things up. Looking for Malabag or Coroy to set something up, or will it just be power forward running? I think it's more the latter. Trying to get some space on the right-hand side. Speed of the Australian defensive line there. And the last tackle for PNG. Repeat set would do. Malabag has come around to the right side. Here she is, Leela, deciding to pass. No. I think the outside player thought, Reeves it was, thought there was going to be a kick rather than a pass.
Yeah, I think that's been the story of the night for Papua New Guinea. Just end of sets have been poor. They haven't really had somebody step up and get a good end of set to apply some more pressure. And yeah, disappointing end of set there.
The point I was making about the domestic competition, so more teams in the NRLW in Australia mean more potentially players eligible for PNG play in the domestic competition.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, there's players from Papua New Guinea, as we know, who play in the NRLW now, and just create more playing opportunities for, you know, hopefully for players across the island, and just get more women playing. And I think if we increase the player pool, you increase the quality, you increase the players to pick from.
Elsie Albert is the leader of that. I think you could probably do a documentary on every World Cup with Papua New Guinea at the moment, because the story just gets better and better. And Elsie Albert is the first player to actually get a contract in the NRLW. You know, she becomes someone to look up to, someone to follow. She comes from my village, that sort of pathway.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, you've got to see it to be it. And you know, there'll be young girls and women at home in Papua New Guinea watching this now and are seeing that is possible, that they can go and make a career out of rugby league, and surely they'll be inspired by it.
Set restart for Australia there. I can tell you Albert's been influential too. She made Shelley Long, who did the short kick-off restart. She persuaded her to represent her heritage and be playing at this World Cup. So
yeah, she's been a real trailblazer as well. Leads from the front, and yeah, and just creates a lot of energy, and you can see the pride and passion that, you know, every woman in this Papua New Guinea shirt has shown.
Crowd has really built up here ahead of the second game, but they're buying into Papua New Guinea's attack at the moment. 20 metres out from the line. There was a repeat set earlier in this, so they've only used up a few tackles here. And the crowd is right on their side as long as thrown down in that tackle. The left side attack would love to see a little bit of ball here. But De La Cruz right out at left wing. Not sure whether she'll see the ball. Albert spin and turn. Ball on the deck. Malabag with it. Little stab kick through. Here it is. It's right there. Just gets out of the grasp. There was a serious chase on from Annika Butler.
Yeah, looking a great kick there, and I think that's what Papua New Guinea have been needing, just a better end to sets, and although be a bit scruffy and off the cuff a little bit, but a great kick in behind there, and almost a score for Papua New Guinea. I think everybody in the stadium were willing that try to be scored.
A will-o'-the-wisp halfback, Malabag. So, short line drop out Australia, and Papua New Guinea up with the ball. Nice play. Jamie Chapman was right there, but wasn't able to come up with the ball. So good work indeed. Another chance for the Orchids here. 20 metres from the Australian line. Albert will go on the charge. She carries 3 defenders again. It's like she's got a nation on her back. They're willing her every time she touches the ball. Aiden underneath the crossbar. We're going to check it. We are going to check it. Belinda Sharp not 100% sure. No celebrations from the Orchid players, though, it must be said. Might be a quick one.
Video referee to match director. There is an on-field decision of no try. Can we just check to see if the ball is actually grounded, please, before she's held up? So she goes over the line, in possession of the ball. Can't see that, but that's a white boot. She's still got it in her hand. She's still got control of the ball. It's still up. She's still got it there. I can't see there. The ball's certainly not gone to ground on that angle. Let's just keep playing on, though, because she might just keep the ball in her hand. She's still got it there. I can't tell if the left hand is still on the ball, actually. So, thank you. I have seen all the available angles I need, and I have now made my decision.
Well, again, the team that would be the beneficiary of a 4-pointer, they're back ready to play the ball. We've gone through due process.
We're going held up.
Ben's earning his money tonight, video referee. No try, 70-0. 17 minutes to go. The first time we've had sustained attack from the Orchids in the match. And suddenly a bit of ball play happening.
Last one, Ellie, get out of there.
They've just got this burst of confidence and players in motion, decoy runners, penalty Papua New Guinea. Malabag wants in mid, I think.
Wait.
So where's the charge? You think this is the way the cry is, and maybe then a little Malabag poke to the in goal will be how they come up with a 4-pointer.
1 foot. Wait.
Yeah, probably something off the cuff. I don't think they get any joy by just going one up.
Albert, mind you, I think Therese Ayton is still itching to have another crack. Here she is here, wasn't clinging to play the ball, and that allowed the Australian defence to come up. 3 tackles down. The Orchids close, but not able to get across just yet. And Australia's defence solid for the moment, needs to be though. These are spirited charges. Well, it was already held. Can be no try there. Cowper fell over after the call of held. Play on for the Orchids. Left edge, run around play. No obstruction. Again, a little bit of dancing done in defence. Holding the player upright. Last tackle. They go for the barge again. The bash and barge is unsuccessful, and Australia will get the ball. Got a little bit excited there. The PNG team.
Like I said, I think everyone in this stadium is willing them to get over for their efforts, and yeah, there we go.
Well, straight away, Chapman sprints through. What about the long stride? Jamie Chapman, they are chasing, it'll be in vain. That is a 100-metre sprint at the Olympics there from Jamie Chapman, from one goal line to the other. After all that pressure put on by Papua New Guinea, A little bit of flimsy defence, and Jamie Chapman makes them pay.
Yeah, and that's what Australia do to you. You know, credit to them, great goal line defence. You know, unfortunately, Papua New Guinea just don't seem to have that plan B and someone to step up and lead a little bit, and they're just lacking a little bit of shape. But, yeah, just a one-on-one missed tackle there, and Jamie Chapman will take that all day, and a bit of a foot race there, but, yeah, nobody's catching her.
10th try scorer and 14th try for the night. Jamie Chapman said, now there's a player. Don't worry about just France 2025. She'll be around the World Cup after that as well. 20 years of age and been in the NRLW Dream Team 2 seasons running. And we did play the 2 seasons and one. 2021 season at the start of this year and 2022 season, but she was in the best 13 both times. Brigginshaw takes over the goal-kicking duties and successful here at York. Gee, it's good now, isn't it, Andrea? The crowd building up, and they've come and it has played its part in Papua New Guinea, but it's going to be fever pitch for England and New Zealand.
Oh, definitely. What an atmosphere already, and I think the excitement's building for England, and what a crowd to be behind him.
Well done there too, Annika Butler, chasing all the way there. Didn't give up. Australia 76, PNG 0. There are cameras everywhere. Chris is up in the cherry picker tonight too as Papua New Guinea go short. Well, we think Chris is up there. We couldn't see him through the fog. There might have been no one up there earlier, but it's cleared up now. There's Chris.
They definitely should have set you up there at some point.
No friends at all, Chris, up there. He's got a double header to film. And he's got a few shortbread biscuits and a thermos of tea. He might need it.
Now, Carol! Lock in. Wait.
10 metres inside their own half. Brigginshaw with it.
Carol, out of there now! Lock in a marker. Milking.
Just short of halfway when you hear that call of milking. Players playing for a penalty. Pretty good charge there from Harden. Sets up a last tackle play with a bit of space. They're on the front foot again, Australia. Fuimaono offloading. Lovely hands, kept alive. Kelly is with it for Australia. Kelly doesn't always run to the spaces. She runs at the faces and tries to barrel away over the top of defenders.
Yeah, and again, just that last pass probably what it needed, but yeah, it's really hard to be critical. Oh, and again, a penalty. Believing penalty.
14 tries and 10 goals as the penalty goes the way of Papua New Guinea here. I think they're kicking for touch. Aiton's going to take the tap.
Holly, out now!
I'm sure
Marcus, wait!
the family of Therese Aiton can be very proud. And of course, brother Paul played plenty of test matches for PNG, but what she's achieved in making her way back to play at this World Cup is quite extraordinary. This ball is turned over. Australia back with it. But Aiton did her knee in 2008 and gave the game away for 10 years. And comes back.
Yeah, what a story.
And a few years later is playing at the World Cup. And became a mum in that time, of course, as well. Mother of 2 is Therese Aiton, playing here for Papua New Guinea. One of the great stories. There's plenty of them at this World Cup. So Australia, Brigginshaw up the back and dropped. That's soft. No, she'll be dirty about that, Ali Brigginshaw. Don't get near the captain right now. Not perfect, though, wasn't the pass. You wanted out in front of your playmaker.
Yeah, not a great ball, but again, again, it's just showing that they are human and they have errors in them. And I think, you know, the little things that the coaches will be looking at for the team that faced in the final will be these little things and where they can put pressure and where they can get little wins.
Ball in. Therese in. Right.
So PNG with the ball, and again, if you haven't watched a lot of the competition, the Women's Super League here in the UK, York is one of the one of the strongest regions, and that identified. They won the League Leaders' Shield first across the line, then couldn't get the job done with the grand final. That went to Leeds.
Straight up now, Talia!
But again, getting better and better all the time in this part of the world.
Olivia, get
But this
out!
last 10-15 minutes has been some of the best of the night for the Orchids.
Yeah, I think if they could have played like this in the first 10-15 minutes, it probably, I mean, I don't think the score would have been a bit different story, but it might have been a little bit closer. I think, you know, too many errors. Yeah, just missing a little bit in attack where they needed it, PNG.
Coroy's kick, again, not high enough to allow her teammates to put a serious jump on it, but still able to pin Australia in the corner.
Therese, let up now!
Get a good hold on the legs of Australia there. I've seen enough from this game to think Tonegato, Brown, Brigginshaw, do they play the positions they've played tonight? Vivas is in pain again for the Orchids.
I think Ali Brigginshaw's gone better in the pack.
I do, I agree.
I think the halves under pressure, she's got some errors in her, and that'll be something certainly the Kiwis or England will be looking at for the final if she plays in the halves. But still, you know, a quality player. But yeah, I think she's been good in the.
But then you forget about
today.
Samaima Taufa, who's one of the best of the Gillaroos, who would be your starting 13. I know their numbers are all over the place at the moment. Like,
yeah, again, who'd want that job?
Yeah.
He won't be asking me. So.
Well, it's a very healthy position to be in, but I think you're right. I think we've seen Aiken as the standout 5'8", and Brown tonight has put in the best performance at halfback. Then you've got a whole bunch of players. We heard before tonight, Jenna Brooks interviewed Brad Donald about an injury for Kezzy Apps, but Coach Donald said she would be fit for Saturday, but you'd never be 100% sure with a muscular injury, but you'd like to think that's the case. Brigginshaw kicking, and nicely positioned at fullback. Well, we are still provided a lot of highlights for the Orchids. In fact, I don't think we'll ever forget Belinda Wasserman scoring those 4 tries against Brazil. That was quite a moment for Papua New Guinea at this World Cup. A win and a player scoring 4 tries.
Yeah, she's been good for Papua New Guinea as well, and you know, a handful of them as well to have played the big minutes, and again a real talent and has put the effort in.
Tournament of first for them, winning their first matches. Big try hauls, semi-finals for the first time. So Aiton, a couple of minds there. Malabag with it. Last play, Papua New Guinea. 7.5 minutes to go. They're not going to get to a kick. It's put down by Corey there. So nothing will come of that.
Yeah, and I think that has been the story of Papua New Guinea's night tonight. They've just not really got out the blocks and been able to challenge. They haven't had their hands on the ball as much as they've wanted. The completion's been low, and it just, this is what the Australian team do to you if that's the case.
Australia at 76 and 14 tries. Brigginshaw on to Wheeler.
Out together now. Mark straight.
The likes of Wheeler and Harden, they're not going to let you down if you pick them in the 17 for Old Trafford. Now Brigginshaw telegraphs the kick. Now they need the bounce. It's there. It's ended up with Shazolka with tackles up their sleeve. They don't have to. They can take the tackle here.
Yeah,
big line here left.
The middles for Australia have been outstanding today, and have really taken it to this Papua New Guinea side who are big and powerful and probably gone a little bit unnoticed.
Well, Tonegato's away again for Australia. It was always on left. It ended up about a 3-on-1. And Tonegato sprints over for her 3rd try of the night. So hat-tricks to both Isabel Kelly in the first half and now Emma Tonegato in the second.
Yeah, they've both been outstanding, and again, just easy. They just make it look easy. spaces, pick a pass, and it, you know, 2 or 3 to pick from there. Great hands, and 3 to pick from there.
Yeah, this is better. This is where they lost their way against France, but stick to what got you to the big lead and keep producing those plays.
Yeah, they've been relentless.
So that's 15 there. What are they now? 48 tries for the tournament. There is, would they have time? Maybe not to hit the 50 tonight, but 48 tries it is. And over to Ali Brigginshaw with the shot. And another strike. This has made it. Their goal kicking's been very good tonight. Lauren Brown is first choice, and now Brigginshaw stepping up as the alternate. And a lot of converted tries in this lot tonight. They've only missed 4 shots, in fact. They're 11 from 15 tonight.
Yeah, early on it was 50%, and yeah, you could have said that when it comes to the final they'll count a little bit more, but yeah, it's the percentages have come up.
Well, our Kazoo player of the match tonight, Andrea, has locked it in.
Yeah, I've changed my mind quite a few times in the last 20 minutes. I think, you know, across this Australian side, there's just so many talented players, and, you know, Kelly's been outstanding. I think the middles have gone really well, and, you know, Tanagato, Polite, they've all been outstanding, and Lauren Brown in the halves as well. Again, quality, but the Kazoo player of the match for me today is Emma Tanagato. Just, you know, unbelievable performance and effortless at times.
Yeah, star performance, star quality. They've got a captain's challenge here. Fui Mayono with the ball. Was there some interference? Let's have a listen. Ben's already made his decision. And one look.
So he's in possession of the tackle there. And this player still in contact. Still in contact. She takes her arm away from her body. If you just watch this again. So the arm goes away from her body. That is by her own devices. And the ball accidentally then comes out. Therefore, the challenge is unsuccessful.
Good call, Ben Taylor. Yes, the knee came into contact with it. That's a good call. Ball carrier's got to have a little bit better than that when you're on the ground. I'm happy with that. I don't think anyone's going to lose any sleep about the decision from the Australian side. In fact, a laughing referee with 3.5 minutes to go. Linda Sharp and Casey Badger, a couple of the Australian referees. Ready for this sort of stage. Big thrill for them. Papua New Guinea 31 metres out from the Australian line. One more chance for points, and I'm sure it would be the biggest cheer of the night. Umeu on another good run.
Yeah, it certainly would. I think that, like I keep saying, this whole crowd is willing him to get over the line.
I still think the Malabang poke might hurt. Oh, there's a opportunity. Oh boy, what a shot! Good heavens above. It was a fleeting glimpse at the line for Shea Yvonne de la Cruz, and then lights out when Chapman came across.
Yeah, not much room there, and a great shot and shut that right out. But yeah, again, it just shows the professionalism, the quality of the skill that Australia has across the board. And again, you know, 2 minutes left, 82-0, and still tracking across and make a contact like that. Yeah.
Oh, just for a moment.
Still feel that tomorrow.
De la Cruz is thinking, oh, got to check. This is it.
Probably won't see it coming either. They're the worst ones.
Bam. Thank you, ma'am. Jamie Chapman. That was some tackle at speed. 82-0 scoreline. And Australia still putting on shots like that. That is no mercy stuff. So final 2 minutes now. Kelly a hat-trick. Tanagato a hat-trick. 2 tries to Zolka. And Australia, 15 tries in total tonight and 10 different try scorers. Still referee Sharp keeping them on their toes. Into the final 90 seconds, and it must be said, you can see from that defence, Emily Vivers, nice and vigorous still from Papua New Guinea. Now Wheeler. Last play for the Gillaroos, maybe their last chance to score points tonight. Kick out a dummy half. And there it is, Nut Cruz sliding onto the stomach. So PNG with the ball. I want to see chip over the top here, Andrea. Can someone just do a little chip over the top and chase?
Yeah, something different, off the cuff.
Have a roll of the dice in the final minute. Mind you, the speed of Tonegado will probably cover all sorts of kicks. Here's Vivas on the run. So again, the quickest of postmortems for Papua New Guinea. It is still an incredible rugby league success story. They're on their journey. At their second World Cup, they have made the Final Four. They've won a couple of matches at this World Cup. And on the other side of things, Australia are into another final and looking to win for a 3rd straight time. But this will be at Old Trafford. And some very big selection calls for their coach, Brad Donald, to make as players hit form. Here's Chapman with it. Chapman loses the ball in the tackle. That'll probably do us as an Orchids player down. In fact, time has been stopped here. So we have player down with 9 seconds to go. Second semi-final not too far away. It is around about 6:45 local time. Linda Sharp will say that will do us with a player injured. And Australia is off to the Theatre of Dreams. It'll be the biggest day ever in Women's Rugby League. Yes, we've had World Cups before, but Saturday is going to be something else. The final, whoever Australia line up against, be it England or New Zealand, it is going to be a classic. Full time, though, in the first semi-final. 15 tries, 11 of them converted. And Australia beating Papua New Guinea by 82 points to 0.